Any online guests?
Okay, now I hand over to you. You can continue.
Yeah, Toastmaster Srinivasan, Saviors, Toastmaster Srinivasan. Over to you, Toastmaster Srinivasan, sir.
Yeah, I hope all of you are able to see my screen. Can you guys confirm you are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
The timer, you can start the time. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. It's almost 2 years since we had this COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is the COVID saviors. Right. So before I go to the saviors, a few interesting facts about COVID-19. Right, we had close to 51.3 crore cases worldwide as we speak today. Almost 62 lakh people have died because of COVID-19. And the good thing is close to 46 crore people, right, recovered from COVID-19. While India, because of its population, and also US and Brazil had the dubious distinction of being the top 3 countries with the highest count of COVID cases, almost no country was untouched by COVID. Right, and there are also a few other positive statistics which have come out of COVID. Almost close to 60% of the population, right, which is close to 466 crore people across the world have been vaccinated. India has also, in spite of its large population, has been able to vaccinate close to 85 crores, right, which is 62% of our eligible population. Right, so these are some of the interesting factors of COVID. Right, and essentially once this pandemic started, right, way back in 2019, 2020, when we had all these lockdowns, there were a lot of saviors, right? A lot of people who actually kept us going. Right, today's session is dedicated to those. Right, so if I have to talk about some of the saviors, right, the healthcare workers, if you see, right, they took the brunt of this COVID-19 pandemic, right, and many of them, right, in spite of their health, their personal well-being and all that, they actually slogged a lot, struggled a lot, sacrificed a lot, right, to protect the world and the humanity against this pandemic. Right, so the primary saviors during this pandemic were the healthcare workers. Right, the second group of people were the sanitary workers. Right, and you could see this day in and day out, sanitary workers keeping our cities, homes, and our residences clean, right, and making sure that all the COVID waste and the regular waste were collected, right. So this is another class of workers who really struggled to keep us going, right, during COVID-19. So while these two people helped us protect us from COVID-19, there's another class of people, right, which is the vaccines and scientists, who also actually helped us in their own way, right, in terms of doing the necessary R&D and making sure that we had the right medicine in place. Right, today we are talking about 46 crore people recovering and a lot of people not getting infected. It is due to these vaccines which were originally designed and created by these various scientists. Right, so these were some of the known saviors, right, and enough has been said and spoken about all these people. And kudos to all of these saviors who helped us through this pandemic for the last 2 years. But while we have these saviors, we also had many unsung heroes, right? A lot of people, many unsung heroes, unknown faces, right? Some of which I painted here. We don't even know who these people are, but they played a role in their own way in terms of saving humanity, right, from COVID, right? And today I'm going to talk about a few such unsung heroes, starting with Manju Ram, right? He's an unsung hero from our northmost part of India, right, which is Jammu and Kashmir. So Manju was basically an asthma patient. He needed to be on oxygen support, right, even without COVID, right? But during the entire stint of the COVID pandemic, in spite of his medical condition, in spite of the fact that asthma is a very dangerous disease, asthma patients are very susceptible to COVID. Manju made sure that he delivered oxygen cylinders to countless patients, right? That was his profession. And besides his passion for serving people, I think his personal condition, right? His medication was very expensive. He couldn't really afford to sit at home, right? Unlike many of us who had the luxury of working from home. So, I mean, really a great thing, right? Manju is a testimony to how adversity can bring out the best in you. So to me, he is one unsung hero. Another unsung hero is what you see in this picture, right? This is a person called Meena Munyal, who's from Agra, and ever since the pandemic started, food was a major issue, right? Because people used to become so sick, and even after recovery, it was difficult for people to cook and have a square meal. So Meena Munyal knew this issue, so she formed a team of around 6 to 7 housewives. She started a group called Prasadam, right, which fed close to 100 COVID patients every week and every day rather, and that too all by herself. She even hired delivery executives who could actually deliver food to these needy people, right? So similar to Meena Munyal, we had several unsung heroes. I could see such people even in my society, right, who delivered food and shelter to COVID patients. Right, so this is another second unsung hero that I wanted to talk about. Some of the other unsung heroes are the farmers of Gujarat. There's a place called Junagadh in Gujarat where there were farmers, and these farmers actually, what they did was they ensured that all the coconuts planted that month were given to the COVID patients, right, free of cost. And they did this time and again and saved countless lives and fed a lot of people. Right, so these are some of the stories which are published on our MyGov website also, right, so that the society gets a boost from these people, right? And besides this, there were a lot of other stories, right, about sacrifices which happened during COVID. Some examples of this were there were a couple of newlywed doctors in New Jersey, right, who got married, didn't go anywhere, and conducted their honeymoon in the hospital because they had to kind of cater to needy patients who actually needed support, right? So we had seen a lot of examples of nurses helping co-workers with songs to boost their morale, healthcare providers cheering patients who recovered, right? And there were even instances of many doctors who are 60 plus, right, who came out of retirement to fight COVID. So there are a lot of such great stories, right, that we saw. So for every sung hero, right, we saw millions of unsung heroes, right? And in summary, right, it's 2 years since COVID happened, right? And we've all lived through this difficult period. And it was a very harrowing experience for all that. But what we should remember is the several million unsung heroes that you see on this picture, right? So what these guys proved is that you don't need to be a superhero or a superheroine as shown in the movies, right, to save humanity. All it needs is a small act of kindness, and we can also become a hero too. So on this day, right, let's applaud these unsung heroes, and also let's use the next opportunity of adversity, right, to become an unsung hero ourselves and the savior of the society. Over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivasan sir. That was a great speech about COVID-19 saviors. So now next we will move on to the, this concludes the prepared speech session. So next we will move on to the education session. It will be delivered by DTM. Yeah, the education session will be delivered by DTM Shayshadrissar. He is delivering an education session on the successful club series set, evaluate to motivate. The timing will be 30 to 40 minutes for this education session. Timer, please kindly make a note of it. And before I hand over to Toastmaster Shayshadrissar, I would like to introduce him as well. So Toastmaster Shayshadrissar has been a Toastmaster since October 2014. And he has been a past president of Madras Toastmasters Club, and he was also the club coach for Standard Chartered GBS India, Hados Toastmasters Club, and also the club mentor of Walkie Talkie Naganallur Toastmasters Club and Global Toastmasters Forum Toastmasters Club. And he is currently the area director for H2, and he is an insurance domain expert with over 28 years experience. Working as Vice President and Head of Operations at CAMS Insurance Repository Services Limited. And having asked about any new habit that he has reinforced in his life recently, he said that yesterday morning he went for a walk after a few years gap. So that was the new habit that he has reinforced in his life. So with this note, I would hand over the control to DTM Shayshadrissar to conduct the educational session. Over to you, sir. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Anirudh. So we are in a situation of education session. I just want people to be very aware of that, whether my screen is visible and I am able to be audible to all of you.
Yeah, you're audible,
yes,
sir,
sir.
but your screen is not yet visible.
Let me share my screen.
Before that, timer, are there any disqualifications in the prepared speech session?
Yes, sir. Srinivasan sir took 7 minutes 41 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, over to you,
my,
sir. Yes.
I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, everybody out here. Thanks for being part of this education session, and thanks to MTC and Toastmaster Suhasini for giving me this opportunity to have an education session on evaluation. Essentially, I just want people to just give a feedback, open your, unmute yourself if you are online and somebody on MTC on the offline mode. Have you ever received feedback, or what is your sense of feedback all about? I just want it to be interactive. Somebody can give what is that? What do you mean by feedback, or what do you understand by feedback?
Feedback is basically the recommendations that we give to people for them to improve themselves.
Okay, I think you are in the context of what I'm going to give. You are giving it to that. Generic in feedback, what you do want to have it.
Feedback is about the opinion, what has gone good and what has to be improved in general. So even in MTC, the prepared speeches will be coming up with the evaluation session. It's a sort of a feedback that we have a structured way also.
Fair enough. Any other opinion or thoughts on this? Somebody saying something? Just not able to hear. Okay. Let me also give you some sense of that. Feedback is something you give to somebody. But as a recipient, how do you feel about it? Is there any opinion on that?
Well, actually, feedback, we can take it in two ways. There is something called constructive feedback. So that constructive feedback we can use to improve ourselves. That's what I have learned basically from Toastmasters itself.
Yeah.
That feedback is very, very important because we can't be perfect in all our things. We always need to get feedback from other people on what we are doing. And that feedback will help us to improve ourselves and develop ourselves. So that's how I will feel. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback given to me as well to set the context out here. So before going into the basic topic or the main topic, I just want to just narrate a couple of a small story I would like to say, which actually reiterates our point of view. See, there is a heavy storm which is going on, and children are playing around, and they are just on a tree playing around. I don't know how many people will remember this scene. There's a sudden storm where a wind is blowing very heavily, and the entire tree is shaking like anything. It's because of the wind and all that. And on seeing this, some of the parents rush to the tree to save them. There are two sort of shouting happening or screaming happening from the parents. One of them says, "Don't leave the branch. People, don't leave the branch. Don't leave the branch." The other parent again says, "Please hold on to the branch. Please hold on to the branch." At the end of the storm, it was about 10 minutes of time, you're finding about 2 or 3 people who are still able to hold on to that, and they did not fall down. The reason, can anyone guess it out? two sets of feedback has gone to the people out there. One is hold on to it. The other one is don't leave it. So our negative feedback, who all received don't leave it, have left it. In fact, mine has started working on the negative feedback. Those who had positive, please hold on. The positive thing held them up to the tree and they were to hold on for a longer period of time. So most of our feedback which we give to the people should be such a way that it actually reaches to them and actually the objective is solved. It need not give a feedback which is not going to be received by anybody else. That's the point we have to say. Somebody is not going to listen to your feedback. There's no point in giving feedback. And those feedbacks have to be effective enough for them to make a change in themselves or at least say their opinion, what is that they like about it or not. So just I'm trying to move on to what it applies in Toastmasters. I just want to, before I go into the session, I just want to have one more feedback from all of you or a response from all of you as to how many of you have not yet done evaluation. Any numbers? People who have not done evaluation. Probably the guests may not have done. Other than that, any of those Toastmasters in the meeting, have you ever been able to do the evaluation or not done the evaluation at all? I see Abha Janani saying that she has not done it. Okay, I just want to get the sense of the mix of people so that the session could be reaching out to each and individual who are there in that meeting.
I have done on rare occasions, sir, evaluation.
Yeah.
Only two or three times I've done. Yes.
Yeah, good. That's also good experience to have. First and foremost thing about evaluation, it benefits the speaker. That's the first objective of any evaluation. It actually benefits the speaker. And how it is managed is that in Toastmasters is providing an immediate feedback. Immediate feedback is nothing but we give a speech today and we don't wait for a feedback a couple of days or a week to come. It comes probably a few minutes after the speech is delivered. So that is how we get the feedback mechanism within Toastmasters, and we give an immediate feedback to all those people who are giving the speech from a form of evaluation. This feedback or which you are giving as immediate should also have some sources of improvement which needs to be provided to them. Whenever today somebody speaks, they would have done something, they would have done phenomenally well, and you always see that they have done everything well. But there should be some areas where they would have definitely faltered. It's not that a flawless speech could be given by everybody. There could be something which we look at improvement. That areas of improvement have to be given that benefit to the speakers. More importantly, whenever you're giving a feedback, just because you've got an option to talk about somebody or criticize somebody or have the feedback mechanism to be there, let's not reinforce any negative feeling on them. You have to build up something of making their speeches to a better series of speech when he gives next. You have to give that build up of that he is doing right things and he or she is doing the right things the right way. And some scope of improvement should be there, is what we are trying to say. And finally, we should not, at any point in time, in a Toastmasters evaluation you are giving, which actually hurts the self-esteem of the speaker. Whatever be the scenario that is available. Even if given a bust speech which we're not able to continue, is not able to speak, continuously is not able to speak. Let's not give a feedback or an evaluation which is not affecting their self-esteem. That's the most important thing. So this is something, these three things. If you give immediate feedback, it benefits the speaker. If you show areas of improvement, it benefits the speaker. And you build up what is done and you tell him what is to be done next, then that building up actually helps the speaker. And if you don't affect his self-esteem, he definitely will take it positively and if he reiterates himself, and he will continue to give speeches. The other approach which we tell is that tell and sell approach. Most of the time in our evaluation, there is no dialogue that happens. It is a one-way communication which goes to most of the speakers. In evaluation, we go through the objectives, we note down the points, and we give a feedback. Here, the evaluator only talks, there is no dialogue that is happening. That's how it happens. What happens to the speaker actually listens. This is the evaluation process. It is defined in Toastmasters. Evaluator talks and the speaker listens to it. The evaluator cannot keep on talking, and there is also a limit of time which we keep it there. Limitation, we call it 2 to 3 minutes. If you keep on giving the feedback, people will not be able to hear. And after 3 or 4 minutes of time, their focus will go on, and we cannot have the listening of the speaker of your evaluation that you are giving them. So the important aspect of this is tell and sell approach means somebody talks about it and somebody listens about it. So you have to tell something and sell your proposition. Like these are all the things you have to take it. See, somebody is going to receive your feedback. So why it is called sell? Sell is something you give it to somebody and somebody takes it. So you are telling that and you are selling it to them that this is something he has to incorporate, he or she has to incorporate in her speech. This is something which he has to avoid in his speech. This is something we can actually improve on that. So these are all something which is a sell approach. It is meaning that somebody selling means you take it. No, you take it from somebody else. You buy something, you take it. That's the sell approach. This is for the evaluator. The evaluator talks, the speaker listens. There is a tell and sell approach, which we mean the evaluator tells something and he sells out his view to the listener, that is the speaker. So this is the mechanism of evaluation which happens in Toastmasters. I stop here. Any queries, concerns? Can we proceed ahead? Hope
Yes,
this is
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can proceed, sir. No queries.
Yeah. Any queries? Please bring me out. I'll just definitely want to listen to that as well. Having said that, how can you make that evaluation more effective? We heard so many queries coming in. A lot of responses also coming. There are 3 stages which are there. First and foremost, if you want to make an effective evaluation, before the speech, what you have to do as an evaluator, what you have to do is talk with the speaker about what is his manual objectives. If you see in any Toastmasters meeting, when we call up the evaluator, we ask him to read out the objectives of the project or the speech he's giving it. These objectives, he has to go understand that this is going to be his objective, and these objectives have to be clearly understood by the evaluator when he's trying to evaluate a speaker. He also has to undertake the guidelines that is given for an evaluation. Probably if you see the evaluation sheet, there are guidelines which will be there, which will be saying that this is the scope of this project, and he has to do these things, 3 things, 4 things. And you have to measure what has been done, either it could be voice clarity, audience relevance of that, his speech, body language, so much of things will be there. And before the speech is delivered, we might approach the speaker and ask if he has any concerns in terms of giving the speech. If there is something which he anticipates that he may have as a concern. These are all good things to be done. Of course, on offline meetings, we used to do evaluator is named earlier than the meeting is schedule comes in. So the evaluator naturally can go and speak to the speaker. He's going to evaluate and say, these are all the objectives of you. Have you prepared well? And if there are any concerns you have, that could be actually probably we can get this addressed. Moving on, before the speech, now what is to be happening when the speaker is giving the speech and what is an evaluator has to do? You have to be interested. That means in an offline speech, you can always say a speaker is speaking, the evaluator actually listens to the speaker. And more likely you can see the speaker actually has more attention to the evaluator. The evaluator should be closely watching the speaker and how he is giving the speech. You should start making notes. And you should assume yourself that you are speaking and what would be your experience. It is as though somebody is giving a speech, but you are giving the speech. Somehow you manage that I am going to give the speech, but how have been my experience. So you have to actually get into the speaker's shoes and understand what his position is, and then if you start doing it and start taking notes. This is important for an evaluator to do it any time he is giving a speech. This is done, the speaker gets comfortable and he starts giving that speech in a very comfortable manner. And taking notes means that you are taking all the inputs from the speaker and going to give us feedback post that. First, we heard what is to be done before the speech and what is to be done during the speech. Any queries or concerns? Please. Hope I am clear in what I have communicated right now. I am taking feedback of my speech now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let's proceed first. When you have already taken notes, now this comes when you are delivering your evaluation. What we saw earlier was you give a speech. Speaker is giving, you give a what are you to be done before the speech is given, what is to be done during the speech. The next one is when you are giving your evaluation. Choose your words carefully. Words should not be like what we call as interjections or things like that, but that's for the accountant to say. You should use your words carefully in the sense that you don't actually demean the speaker. We said that earlier. You should not pull down the self-esteem of the speaker. You are just giving a speech evaluation, and you are not going to actually rate the person there. Basically, you have to see words are very positively being given. Instead of saying you did this very badly, this could have been done this way, or you could have used these words instead of these words. You can always say you rush through. Instead of that, you could have been a bit slower. You say you skipped some grammar was there. I think this could have been used this sentence this way. Those are all the things you have to use the words very carefully. Reinforce on the speaker that he's getting the right feedback, not something they want to do it. Most importantly, you are going to evaluate the speech. Don't go with the person. If somebody is going to give his first speech, don't take it for granted that he's going to give first speech, so his speech was very bad. And I'm going to give this feedback to him that your speech was very bad. Don't ever do that. And if you are doing an evaluation of a person who is a seasoned speaker, I reiterate the point, don't get carried away by the person because he's a senior most person. Whenever you find some feedback has to be provided, that has to be given as a feedback. That's an effective evaluation will always be. There are versatile speakers, international speech contest winner, whatever it is. On that day, what the speech he delivers and what you feel as an evaluator, that has to be properly and honestly given. It's an honest feedback, we call it. Don't say that he's a versatile speaker, today he's slumbered, I will not give that feedback. No, it has to be there. Whenever he is giving a speech, if there is a fault on his part, we need to certainly follow and tell him that this could have been done better. If there is a timing issue that he has exceeded the timings, the speech was fantabulous, but he could have completed on time. That could be a way of giving a feedback. And as I said earlier, you have to promote the self-esteem. Somebody feeling bad, okay, he failed on the speech. Don't ever say, this happens to everybody. Some days even I have spoken for longer times, but I have also failed sometimes. To get that self-esteem motivated and promoting him that this is all okay. This is what an evaluator will do when he is delivering his evaluation session to the speaker. Any queries or concerns so far?
No, sir. No, sir.
Fine. This is something which we need to avoid. So whenever you look at most of those people who do this, honest evaluations are upbeat and encouraging while offering suggestions for improvement. What importantly we have to see is the fact that we always see the person or the speech on that day, and indigenous themes like keep on telling something which is not required. Probably this could have been avoided. If these words were not said, it could have been better. Please avoid that. And keep that encouraging thoughts when you give suggestions for improvement. You could have done this better. You could have done this more effective way. How you can do those things should be brought out to the speaker rather than telling him something which actually hurts his esteem. Whenever we are closing our evaluation, you start with an opening statement. This was something which I see there. So reiterate with that. Whatever you gave as opening statement, try to connect with that opening statement you gave for the feedback, you gave for an evaluation. Secondly, if you are talking about something and you are saying these are all the points for improvement, areas for where he has done well, where he could have done better, or where he needs to add something more, please summarize it as your key points 1, 2, 3. These are all areas you did well. These are areas where you can improve, and these are areas where you can add these things which can make it as a better speech. So just summarize your key points so that that actually registers in the speaker's mind, and he will carry forward and take it, and he will improve his speeches when he is going to give later. For example, I said, give a story or an example of own, which actually gives him that benefit of that. I gave a story, right, sometime back. What about building onto that? Some sort of a story or an example actually reiterates the mistake or the areas where you can concentrate on. That could be the way you can do the closing of that thing. And whenever you have that, I would recommend that you use this in your future speeches. Encourage listeners to apply what they have heard and learned. That's how finally you have to say, this is the feedback I have given to you. Probably if you apply these in your speeches can be good to great or good to better or the best. So such things of reiteration, if it is done in the closing, then your evaluation can be effectively taken by the speaker, and he will start putting up in his speeches, and he will start getting that feel that I am doing right and I am going to improve. Evaluation is never a fault-finding mission. It's always a mission which is to improve the speakers, also get his mind share and improve his delivery later, which with your inputs that comes in the evaluation. Hope I've got whatever I wanted to say for the closing of it. Any queries and concerns out here? Fine. How many of you have gone to the contest, evaluation contest? Hello?
No, sir. I haven't had a chance to do it.
Yes. I'll do one thing. I'll also sharing the screen. Whenever you are going to able to see mine, right?
Yes, sir.
See my screen? Yes. So when you are going for an evaluation contest, what does the judge look into? They look at these 4 aspects of the evaluation that you are giving in a contest. Analytical quality, whether you are clear on what you are giving as a feedback as an evaluator, where you are focused in your approach when you are trying to do that. They rated, they gave 40% of your marks gets scored in an evaluation contest. If you do an analytical way of clearly focused evaluation is given. Recommendations. As I said earlier, it should be positive, specific, and helpful to the speaker. These recommendations are very critical and should be part of your evaluation which you are giving to the speaker. It should be, I say, carrying about 30% weightage for your evaluation which you give in a contest. Technique, which I would always say, sympathetic, sensitive, and motivational, they call it. In this regard, I just wanted to link it out here. Whenever you give a feedback or an evaluation, sometimes there are techniques which are followed, which we call it as a sandwich technique. You talk about something very good about the speaker, that he has used this and all that. Then go on to say what he has not done well in a positive manner. This could have been avoided. And then finally add up something positive at the end of it and say that this has been very good and you can do it better. This is we call a sandwich technique. Like in a sandwich, there are 2 breads and there is a internal material which is actually hidden. This hidden is the negative aspect of the speech which you are trying to cover up with 2 positive notes from the first at the beginning and one at the end. This is called a sandwich technique. If such techniques are being utilized in an evaluation process, in a normal speech evaluation or in a contest, that actually helps you to score points, which is having a weightage about 15% of yours. As I said in my presentation itself, summation is very, very important. Closing, concise and encouraging, which I said jotted down points. If you do that and give a summation of what your evaluation is all about, concise and encouraging one, I think you should be able to drive home what you wanted to say, and if you're able to summarize it in 2-3 sentences, that should score you 15% of the marks. Overall, if you look at it, if you have a clear and focused quality of your evaluation, you get 40 marks. There are specific recommendations which are positive and helpful. You get a 30 marks. And the techniques are used like sympathetic, sensitive, and motivational one. You get 15 marks. And finally, if you sum it up with the concise and encouraging feedback, then it gives you 15 marks. Then your overall evaluation gets into a mode where people will appreciate the way you have done your evaluation. With that said, how many of you would have done this evaluation in a contest? And probably this would have helped you to get to know what you need in a evaluation contest as an evaluator. Hopefully, this has had insights what you would have expected from me. Any feedback or queries on this evaluation contest which I've just shared with you? If I hear nothing, I just wanted to close it out with one more thing which I thought should be a way of getting your things done, and a feedback mechanism. There was a gardener. He used to do a cutting of the grass in one of the farmers' estate. He used to do it very systematically, and he used to do it, and that way he was doing it. But he wanted to know what is happening and all that. He called up the farmer and asked, I want a job. Can you please help me? I want a gardener job. Please, can you help me out? The owner said, no, I'm fully satisfied with what I'm doing. No, sir, I'll cut the grass. I'll come early in the morning. I do this job and I will do it in a very effective manner. No, already my person is already doing that, and he comes very early in the morning. He does this job very well, and he does it very systematically. No, sir, I will do it the way it is to be done, the way I have learned it for a long time. And I will do it better than your person who's doing it right away. And I'll just give you 50% of the fee what you're trying to give. I'll definitely be able to work and I will do it. The master said, even if you want to do it half his rate, I'm not going to hire you because he's doing a great job, and I will still keep him. And he cut the phone, and he got his satisfaction saying that he's got a feedback about his way of working. Secondly, he also got a feedback about the pay he's going to get. The master was satisfied. This is one way of getting feedback from the work you have done. This is from the recipient point of view. And the last thing which I want to give you as an evaluation of the official thing which you do, which I thought is not scope of this speech, but I would just recommend it after I give my thank you slide, is that whenever you are evaluating your official, this is our appraisal times, I think we should also do a sort of understanding that this is going to come as a way of mechanism of how to evaluate your people. You can always start whatever they have done good. Please ask them whatever you've done good, please list it out. And ask them what you could have done better than what you have done this time. Get their feedback on that. And ask them what they are going to do differently next year. These three things will keep the appraisal mechanism in a healthy mode for both the people appraiser as well as the appraisee. That's the way this could be a way of additional hint which I thought should be utilized for all of you whenever you are doing an appraisal. In appraisal, discussions or feedbacks are more important. It actually means retaining or losing an employee. That's also a very important evaluation technique which we need to follow, which is beyond the Toastmasters, which I want to share with you as an additional value add, which I thought will help you to do your appraisals or get the receiver as a recipient. You will know how your boss expects or what your boss will expect. With that said, I have done with my presentation. If there are any questions or queries, I am willing to answer.
So overall, it was a very good presentation, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And regarding the contest, sir, it's like how to better perform. Can you just let me know, sir? Because, for example, in a contest, they will be giving one particular topic, and everyone will be in breakout room, and after then, one by one, they will be called. So during that process, like how we can collate the things and we can make it best out of it. Could you any suggestions, sir?
The evaluation contest, as I said, has to be, we get a 2 to 3 minutes time only. The evaluators will be allowed to take notes. So take notes always, whatever you want to pick it up. And you have the times to sit and 5 minutes, they provide you times to consolidate your points. You have to systematically say what all things went well, what is areas of improvement, what you could add to that. So these 3 points you'll have to add it and keep it out here for the speech. Then you actually make the opening statement to link that opening statement, whatever that is being said. If you look at it, and you have to do a technical way of doing it. Somebody would use some acronyms, some AAA, Triple C. It could have been concise, the conceptually and concise, whatever it is. They will use certain techniques like Triple C or a sandwich, they would call it. I would do it in a positive, negative, positive. That way also could be way of doing it. This will actually give you a concise view of that because you get only 2 to 3 minutes of time to do the evaluation. That is really one advantage out here is it is going to be the same whether you are evaluating a speech in a club meeting or a contest. It is 2 to 3 minutes only. So the timing is not going to be different. The way you are going to do it here, to do it there also, there is not going to be difference. Only thing is that you are the same person is going to evaluate. I mean, same person is getting evaluated by different people. How they score on the various points I've said, 40, 30, 15, 15. That those points need to be kept in mind always and ensure that we have an analytical ability of quality analytics is being done on the person. You give a positive feedback, summarize what you are doing, and try to give some recommendations. These are all the 4 things which actually will help you to ace the evaluation contest. But it's not so difficult, but it's a small edge over others. It's like a photo finish, we call it in various running races and all that in a field event. It's just evaluation is just that small extra bit of thing which you add into our things which will actually make you reach the top or go to the bottom. So it's like a thin line which we need to be aware of, and you should get those advantages. So what I always suggest is that whenever you are having an interest in doing evaluations, hear out the other evaluators how they do it. I do in a way. I mean, I'm recently getting into this offline mode now, online mode. But whenever I'm doing on stage, I don't carry any notes of that. I actually take the notes, I keep it in mind, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I give a feedback without having any notes when I'm doing an evaluation. That could be one of the techniques which actually knows that you keep aligning that what are trying to assemble it. Your thoughts could be clearly available, 1, 2, 3. These are all I'm going to speak. Not then that is a challenge which you have to take up and do it without having notes to do an evaluation. That's one of the things which can actually help you to ace evaluation. Any other queries?
Sir, good morning. I'm Toastmaster Madhusudan. I just wanted to add a quote to your speech. As you mentioned, how to promote self-esteem. I just read the quote in the morning. If you don't fail, you will never learn, and if you don't learn, and you will never improve. Yeah.
So it's a bit of planning which is required if you are doing an evaluation. That's the thing which is very critical because you have just 2 to 3 minutes because you are going to summarize a 5 to 7 minutes of speech. That means what I normally do is I note down everything whenever it is just like a jotting of notes. I take it, what is relevant, I take it out. What is not going to be spoken, I cut it out. So I get, if I note 10 points, I'm going to take top 3 is going to be reflecting in my evaluation. The rest of the 7 points, you have to cut it out. Because too much of things will, actually you're not going to repeat the speech of the speaker. That is not the intention out here. Just you want to go to overview of that. Somewhere you can refer the speaker's words and things, but otherwise Don't go over the speech again. It's not going to be a repetition of speech. That is one technique which you have to follow. That is some areas you pick it up and add, and that's where you give the feedback. Don't repeat the speech of the speaker. That's the important thing. And you will not find time also. 2 to 3 minutes will actually fly away like anything. Fair enough. Any other?
It was an amazing session, sir. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. And over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Yeah, thank you, DTM Shayshadrissar. That was an amazing education session. Hope we can learn from this education session and reinforce ourselves in the upcoming meetings when we do evaluations for our speakers. So this concludes the education session as well. Now we can have a 5 minutes break. The time is 11:32. We'll be back by 11:37. Is the presiding officer available? Toastmaster?
Yes. Yes, Toastmaster Shayshadrissar. Yeah.
Yeah, Preeti, it seems as
Yeah. No, she is not feeling well. She said me to take care of it. Yeah. I guess all the guests have been asked to speak. Is there any other new guests who have joined us now? Offline?
Yes, sir. Guest Karthik here would like to introduce himself, sir.
Yeah, please call him.
Could you come on the stage, sir?
As well as kindly turn on the camera. I guess
you can
it's
turn
on.
on your video.
Yes. Hi.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
So I'm Karthik. I am working in one of IT organization. So to improve my skills and managers, so I just refer the Toastmaster reference from the website. So I just joined here to improve skills.
Okay, thank you. Try to enroll yourself for the table topic session. So if you would like to have you there. So, and if there are any other guests?
Yes, ma'am.
Toastmaster Tarun, is there any other guest?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, right.
Okay, then we can move into the break and we'll see after 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes. Certain terms, Tarun, can we start? Or? Toastmaster Karthik Shivakumar.
Yes, Anirudh.
Can we start or can we wait for another few minutes?
Yeah, we can ask the offline members to join, so that I guess we can start with that. Toastmaster Tarun, can we have all the participants assembled back? Yes, I guess they're ready
Sir,
to go.
everyone just got the teaser, so.
Okay. Shall we wait for 2 more minutes then?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, two. By the way, timer only Toastmaster Sriram is qualified, right? In the prepared speeches.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir took 7 minutes 41 seconds.
Srinivasan sir took 7 minutes 41 seconds.
No. Anirudh, it should be said at the last. Report should come at last.
No. I was just asking that.
Yes, is it a qualification or disqualification? That only just you ask at the starting.
He was saying someone took that time, so I was asking who
Okay.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so Toastmaster Sriram is qualified. Okay. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes, and then we can start if they are ready. Yeah, it's 11:43 now. Maybe we can wait till 11:45.
Yes, Toastmaster Anirudh. Yeah. I guess you can start with it. I guess only 2 evaluation sessions are there. After this, maybe you can give some time also for the table topic session.
Yeah, I think Tarun is ready. He is coming to the stage.
Okay. Yeah.
If Tarun is ready, we can start. Toastmaster Tarun. Yeah, you're not audible. Both devices are muted. Yeah, it's 11:45 now. So, Toastmaster Tarun, can you unmute and can we start? So unmute and nobody is audible from offline.
Okay. Is there anyone from offline
Yes,
confirm?
yes. Now they have unmuted. Yeah, you can start. Go ahead, Tarun.
Yeah, one sec.
To do it. We can start now.
Yeah, we can
No,
start.
Sardhan Terms has to start and then he will hand over to me. Then I will introduce and give it to TT Master. So Tarun, you can start.
Yes, welcome back after the break. We'll proceed with the table topic session now. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Tarun, for the introduction, for the welcome back. So before we proceed, I'll just share this small quote. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Karthik Shivkumar sir, can anyone confirm?
Yes, Toastmaster of the day.
Yeah, it's visible, right?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So it takes some courage to stand up and speak, and it takes even more courage to open your mind and listen. This is a really good quote. I like this quote, so I just wanted to share it with you all. So looking forward to the members who are going to stand up and speak out today during the table topic session. So to conduct this table topic session, we have Toastmaster Abha Janani. Toastmaster Abha Janani, brief introduction about her is, she works at Chennai Airport and is an avid reader who loves listening to music and to travel. She always learns new words and languages. And recently, she has been making sure to spend at least 10 minutes every day on Duolingo to learn Spanish. And she has achieved a 190-day streak, which is amazing. So with that note, I will hand over the control to Toastmaster Abha Janani to conduct the table topic session. Over to you, Toastmaster Abha Janani.
Is this on unmute?
Yeah.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So today's they say that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. One feedback.
Toastmaster Abha Janani, you are muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes. It's a little bit echoing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now it's clear. Yeah.
So, going back, what keeps us going in that journey until we reach our destination is the reinforcement that we give through motivation, commitment, and regular practice. Just like how we do in Toastmasters, every week we get together to practice, give each other motivation, reinforce our skills in our journey to become good speakers. Even when things don't go our way, like the last 2 years when we had this COVID situation, we found out a way. We went hybrid, we did online, but then we always kept the commitment and we always got through every situation. So on that note, let us begin our table topic session. So I'd like to first invite Toastmaster of the day with the topic. Toastmaster Anirudh, can you hear me?
Yes. It's a little bit echoing. Maybe if we can take care of that.
Just a minute. Your audio off on Can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Yes, now it's Pakka. You can continue.
Okay. So your topic of the day is topic for today is related to the word of the day. What is the one thing you would like to reinforce in yourself this year, and how would you do it? What is the one thing you would like to reinforce in yourself this year, and how would you do it?
Thank you, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Abha Janani, for the topic. What is the one thing that I would like to reinforce in myself, and how would I do it? Am I right?
Yes.
The topic?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
So reinforcing itself means that we are bringing into, we are doing a new activity which we have not done before. So reinforcing in itself will be an interesting thing for us to do, because we are trying out a new activity and it is not part of the routine. Because if it is part of the routine, then we are not reinforcing anything. It is just going in a routine. Daily we are doing the same things again and again. But when we try out new things, when we bring out innovations, and when we try out new things, when we explore new things, that is when the reinforcement comes into account. So the one thing that I would like to reinforce in myself is, actually, I am, as most of you know, I am playing the piano, and I play a lot of songs in my piano. It brings great happiness to me, and I'm also having a YouTube channel in which I've uploaded a lot of piano videos. If possible, I will send the link to most of you. You can subscribe to it. And another thing is, I can also sing a lot of songs. So music in itself gives happiness to me. And I've also joined a graphic designing course. So the one thing that I would like to reinforce in myself this year is to develop myself, and I also do a lot of cricket analysis. I see a lot of cricket matches deeply, and I do a lot of analysis about all the matches that have happened in the past and in the present as well. So the one thing I would like to reinforce in myself is decide upon what exactly I am planning to do as a career, and do that and make that as a priority, and do that properly. That is the one thing I would like to reinforce in myself. Thank you for the opportunity. Back to the Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Anirudh. Thank you for the wonderful speech. Next, I would like to call upon Sriram, sir. Toastmaster Sriram. So your topic for today is, if you could do anything, if you could do anything or be anyone, no limits, no constraints, what would you do? If you could do anything or be anyone, no limits, no constraints, what would you do?
That's a good topic. All of us have a lot of things to do, right? I might think something, I might follow something, I might do something, but all of these things have to connect. And I would say our mind, body, and soul has to connect to do something. I have seen many great leaders have shaped themselves by following this simple principle. Look at Winston Churchill, he is a great speaker, right? Look at Bill Gates, he's an 8-standard dropout, but he has transformed himself by following simple principles. Look at Elon Musk, he has failed a lot, but he has transformed now. He is marching across the world, doing many things, apart from Tesla, SpaceX, and now he's doing Peter. Also what we want to convey. By following this principle, each one of us can do that. So I hope all of you can follow this simple principle and achieve great results.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sriram, for that motivating speech. Next, I would like to call upon, do we have any volunteers online? What about the... Yes, Toastmaster Induvati, I was just going to call you. So your topic for today is mountains or beaches. What do you prefer and why? Mountains or beaches? What do you prefer and why?
If you don't mind, can you please change the topic? No? Can you hear me? Ma'am, can you please change the topic?
What did it?
Yeah, she
Okay.
wants a change in topic.
Can you please change the topic?
Yes, okay, I'll give you another one. What is the one place you'd like to visit at least once that you haven't visited yet?
Okay.
What is the one place you'd like to visit at least once that you haven't visited yet?
Okay. I love traveling, but I never been to outside India. I would like to visit Netherlands because I love the sceneries. Actually, there is no one single place. I have a lot in my list. But still, I like this one, Netherlands. That's it. Can you hear me? That's it. Am I audible?
The voice?
It was...
Yes, you are audible, Indumati. Yeah, Abba Janani is not audible. Yes.
But it was cutting off in between, I think. But I think she's yeah. It was cutting out in between, but I think Toastmaster Induvati has completed her speech. So we'll move on to the next. Any volunteers from the guests? Yes. So, for the topic for you today, Prabhat, is tell us about the one place in your hometown that we should all definitely visit. And why?
So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak here. I am from Jharkhand. I am from Bokaro State City. So I would request each and every one of you to go and visit Bokaro State City, because it's a small city, but the city will be having I can say all the things which you can go and see, and after that you will feel like at home. You'll not be finding any stress. There will not be having any of the rushing situation which we are seeing here in the city like Chennai, Mumbai, and all. There will be a peaceful city. You can go to so many temples, and actually after visiting the temple, your soul will be relaxing. So you feel like you will be into the peaceful situation where you can think about something like meditation or yoga. So it's all from my side. Over to you.
Thank you, Prabhat. That's a wonderful description of Bokaro. Any other guests who would like to volunteer? Just go ahead. It's 2 minutes. Simple topics. Arjun? So, Arjun, the topic for you is, are you a night owl or an early bird? Night owl is basically, do you prefer to sleep late or do you prefer to wake up early? And what do you think is the best thing about whatever you choose?
First thing, after working in IT
Could
industry.
you just step towards the camera? Yes, please.
First thing, after working in IT industry, I don't even know when I'm sleeping. When I'm waking up, you don't know when is the time. Early bird gets the worm. That's true. When you wake up early, you can plan the whole day. So if you are doing a project management activity, you can know who are the people who have to work what end of activity.
that's a good thing you can do about it. But if you sleep late, you can have fun with your friends. You have to work and in the same time. Namal don't let me sleep. He's my roommate. Yesterday he was watching up. What movie is it? Ayappanam Coaching. I was like, okay, man, please let me sleep. So friends is the main problem for early rising. I can't even cut them out, but still, but at the same time to work also, right? Yeah, I am planning to be early, but as of now, I don't know where I am. That's too much.
Thank you, Arjun. So your sleep habits are very dependent on your roommates, basically. So thank you. Any other volunteers? Please.
Toastmaster Janani, kindly check the chat box.
Okay. Yes. Of course, we have our Sergeant at Arms, Tarun. Yes. We'll just have
yes.
So Tarun, given a choice between being super smart or being really good looking, what would you choose and why? Given a choice between being super smart or really good looking, what would you choose?
I guess I would take the first option, which is being super smart, because I think looks as in being smart takes you places, as you know. So good looks might take you to a place, but not too many places. So I'll say being really smart, I could be manipulative, I could be smart enough to get into places that which is not explored, or I could explore, or I could invent some new stuff, which would make me famous, or I could make my look, the brand look, something like that. So if I'm smart enough, I could do that also. So yeah, or I could set my looks as the standard for everyone to look at. So I would obviously say being really smart and innovative would be the first choice I would take. If given the option of being really good looking or really smart, it's I'll go and say it's being really smart as such. So over to the tabletop master.
Look, the brain's trump looks. Huh?
Yes.
So good. Amal, we have volunteer with. Amal, the topic for you is, if you could be any fictional character, who would you like to be and why?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Toastmaster Janani, for that topic. If you could be any
Fictional character. Any fictional character, why, who would you like to be and why? Any fictional.
Okay, any fictional character. Yeah, if someone gives me a choice of being a fictional character, yeah, I think somebody choose any superheroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, something like that. But I would choose someone who could control or read someone else's mind. Because with technology, maybe in 50 years or 100 years, someone can be an Iron Man, or Spider-Man also. With the growth of the technology, someone can be an Iron Man. But mind control, I don't think that will be possible in 100 200 years. So if I'm given an opportunity to become a superhero or like a fictional character, I would like to be a man who can control or read my. This is not a good thing, I know, but yeah, with technology is not possible. So fictionally can be possible. So I'll choose that area. My man, something like that.
Any other volunteers? Any volunteers? Would you like to volunteer? What about ma'am? So the topic for you is, could you describe your ideal or perfect vacation? Most perfect vacation that you can imagine. You can add whatever you want into it. So what do you?
Thanks, Annie. Given the busy lifestyles that we have, we hardly get any time to relax at all or sleep properly. So that's been the work life for me. So I think for me, the ideal vacation would be some place where I can really relax without any kind of official calls or any mobile device or anything, completely cut off. In the midst of nature, completely cut off from the any touristic framework or anything. I would prefer something where there's just nature and you, and where you just get to choose what you want to do instead of a package or something like that, or places to see or something like that. So I guess it will vary from person to person depending upon their own interests and requirements. But right now, I think I need that space and the rest and all that. So I would choose some natural place where you can enjoy just without any agenda or schedule.
Any other volunteers? And anybody online who would like to participate?
We can take one or two more topics and we can conclude actually. It's time. Maybe you can call a few more guests in offline.
We are done offline. Oh, yes. Madhusudan
Guests in offline, yes. Few more guests.
No. Okay. So, Madhusudan, the topic for today is, what is your least favorite food? And where and when did you first taste it?
To be honest, my least favorite food is actually the one which is very healthy. Example, you can take spinach and broccoli or cabbage and all those greeny vegetables, which does not taste as such, very well, but it actually is very healthy. But I would say that if you try to change the style of cooking, like
Okay, so also I'd like to have a change of topic. So, okay, could you tell us about your proudest moment so far? Something that you're truly proud of, something that you did that you're truly proud of, and proudest moment, any moment that you felt proud and happy. Okay. Okay. Could you tell us about a movie or a book that you would like to recommend to all of us that we should definitely check out?
Okay, I would recommend the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. The opening of the page itself says that all the problems starts with poverty, not with money. It's actually a mind opener for me. And people in the middle class and the poor people always say that the problem is associated with the middle class and the poor people is always a lack of money, not poverty. And 99% of the people are being middle class and the poor people, and only 1% of the people are being billionaires and millionaires. And those people can live whatever they want to be. Example, they can ski ride and do whatever stuff like that. But the author of the book is Kim. He always says that he quoted what Henry Ford said. You can't expect people to respect you for what you're planning to do. So basically, he intends on implementation on what we are trying to do, what we're planning. First, we need to plan what we're going to do, and the second part is that we need to try. Third part is also try. Fourth part is also try, and fifth part is also try, and the sixth part will be a success. And finally, I would like to say that personally, I have read the book, and actually, I have not completed reading, but indeed, I'm almost been finished the book. So I would recommend you all to read the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Thank you. That was a wonderful recommendation. So with that, yes, we have one more guest who would like to participate.
Yeah, we can conclude with this topic. Actually, it's time already. Last topic.
We have one more.
One more topic.
Okay, Karthik, your topic is, what does success mean to you?
What does success means to everyone trying to achieve the success. So day to day, every day, success is very important. That's one is very motivation to the on the daily life. So daily success, what we are learning the day. So anything you are learning day by day is very important. And what we are learning, that's one day. So what learning by day. So that one of the improvement which we will achieve that one. So the success is not it's endless. So at the same time, it's nothing to that. But what we are achieving, that is a success. So what we learn and what we are improving, that to reach the success. That is my
Thank you, Karthik, for that wonderful presentation. So with this, we conclude the table topic session. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abha Janani, for conducting a great table topic session. So before we move into the next segment, I would like to ask this question. How many of us want to reinforce new habits and experiment new things in our life, but we feel that something stops us from doing it? Yes, it is basically because of the fear and because of the negative thoughts and imaginations that we are having in our mind about the future that stops us from reinforcing and experimenting many things. So if only we can train our mind to live in the present moment and think positively and take smaller steps to achieve our goal, we can surely reinforce many things and be successful in our lives. So with this, we will move into the next segment, which is the evaluation segment. And to conduct this, we have the general evaluator, Toastmaster Anand. So over to you, Toastmaster Anand, for conducting the evaluation session. You are muted, Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Yes. Yes. Now we are moving to the one of the most important session, that is the evaluation session. Before moving to the evaluation session, let me give some few tips on the reinforcement. There is two eminent behavioral scientists, namely Ivan Pavlov and the J.B. Skinner, who only introduced the term called as behavioral modification therapy. In psychiatry and psychology, this behavioral modification therapy has been practiced, right, completely. So there are three things. One is called as a positive reinforcement, and second thing is called as a negative reinforcement. Third is called as punishment. In today's context, in any organization, they're applying this in the behavioral tool. The first, see, I am in a sales and marketing. last year we have overshoot our target, right? They called us for the budget meeting for 2 days. What they did, one day we had a very fun-filled, energizing budget meeting with happily. It's a sales-filled, see. And second day, they given free outing. One day you can go anywhere, any part. They sponsored, right? So this is called as a positive reinforcement, right? So we have enjoyed such behavior. So we need to continue that behavior so that I need to achieve my budget. That is a positive reinforcement, right? Suppose in case I will not achieve my budget, what will happen, right? Negative reinforcement. 2 days, the meeting full of firing. What I will think? Anyway, I need to increase my productivity. I need to avoid unnecessary or inappropriate behavior. Punishment. If the sales is not achieved, transfer at look at the corner of the country, at any part, I will avoid. So these three things play a crucial role. Even in this evaluation session also, the evaluator gives the constructive feedback, both positive reinforcement as well as the suggestion for improvement. First, I would like to call upon our evaluator, right, our Toastmaster Karthik, to evaluate Toastmaster Shayshadrissar. Toastmaster Karthik is a project manager and a contract management professional working for a MNC in Chennai. He loves to go for adventurous trips, traveling, and learning new technologies. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. And many congratulations to my target speaker, Toastmaster Shayshadrissar, for a well-organized information speech in his pathway on innovating planning. And also, he has successfully achieved the purpose of his speech by explaining to us what the members intend to accomplish in his team, as well as very well conveyed how his team members were built to help him in accomplishing his plan. To add further to this project, I am very much happy to tell that I am also a part of a team member and in that YLP program, and thoroughly enjoyed being in his team as well as under his leadership. Sticking on to the purpose of his prepared speech, he made his presentation a very crisp and in an effective way, but just picking and going to the point and addressing the audience. He made his speech very effective by starting with the objective of what his project is all about, and he has narrated about the structure of his project team members and his project plan with a very famous iron triangle of the project management tool, which is by well defining the scope, time, and cost, as along with that risk. So apart from his structured speech, I have few recommendations to add on to be much more better, which is like he has addressed on this risk, like the attendance, the lack of attendance and dropouts while with the online network connection challenges. In order to mitigate this challenge, how he is going to address that, he could have touched upon it. So it would have had much sense to it. And further, like the project scope was well defined, it could have been much more better if other additional details, such as like he has told like the time frame of the program is for 9 sessions, how that 9 sessions are going to be conducted. So that can be little more elaborated. And related to the objective, one more slide could have been added explaining how the communication, organization, and leadership skills are going to develop in those YLP students who are going to be a participant in that. The slides, and another one more thing is like the slides are very simple with a black and white background, which is more effective. But in order to reinforce it with a much more effectiveness, he could have added some colors or good background to it. In summary, for his short and effective speech, he has delivered to the level what was expected in his project. And there was a clarity in his speech. He used a very good vocal variety. The audience awareness could have been made much better with colorful visual representation, and you appeared very comfortable with the audience. And the topic what you have given was only an acronym, but if you have elaborated with the full abbreviation of it, it would have added much flavor to the audience. So we thoroughly enjoyed it, and all the very best and congratulations to the Toastmaster Sriram for us upcoming projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik, for your wonderful constructive feedback. Thank you. Next, to evaluate Toastmaster Srinivasan, let me introduce Toastmaster Subha. Toastmaster Subha, having more than 20 years of work experience, now exploring health sector. Toastmaster Subha's Toastmaster journey helped her to express herself and gain confidence. Over to you, Toastmaster Subha.
Toastmasters and distinguished guests, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Srinivas. Toastmaster Srinivas topic itself is very, very catchy and trendy. Saviors. Toastmaster Srinivas started the topic by giving data about how many people were infected because of corona. And he was able to, with this data collection, he was able to nicely capture the audience attention. He gave an informational speech. The purpose of the speech was for the member to demonstrate how to use the presentation software. But electricity didn't permit him to use it. Electricity didn't permit him to exhibit the slides. Life is full of uncertainty, ups, downs, and twists and turns. That's okay. It happened. He has prepared the slides. So the objectivity of the particular project was such a. What three things I liked in your project was, in your speech was, we never think about the unsung heroes. But he brought the unsung heroes, Nina, Manju, today in our life. That was one of the I could appreciate that particular point in his speech. And the data collection of COVID-19 was awesome. He had an authenticity for the speech itself. He collected all the data, how many people were infected, how many people were died. So the data collection for this particular project, for this particular speech, yes, efforts have gone into the data collection. The phrase unsung heroes itself is inspiring. And the content had a logical flow. And he also narrated how frontline workers of 46 crores were giving vaccination. Overall, the speech was very awesome. There was a clarity in your speech. The conclusion was applaud the unsung heroes, leaving the stage behind us to think about it. The areas of recommendation which I could give is, you can use just a hand movements for your speech, make it vibrant. You can also think voice modulation. When you are introducing unsung heroes, the pitch should be high and you should have facial expressions to exhibit the unsung hero. So when just like appreciating the unsung hero, your expression should be there. So otherwise, you are a great speaker. Turn to Te Modi.
Yeah, it's
thank you, for your constructive feedback. Yes, yes. Now, let me move on to the hope I am audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. Now it is a tax team session. The tag team is going to submit their respective report. First, I would like to invite a timer Timer, could you please submit your timer report?
Yes, sir. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, you are visible.
The timer report for the today's meeting. For the prepared speech, Toastmaster Srinivasan sir took 3.12 minutes, and Toastmaster Toastmaster Sriram took 3.12 minutes. Toastmaster Srinivasan took 7.41 minutes. For the educational session, TDM Shayshadrissar took 34 minutes 12 seconds. For the table topics, Toastmaster Anirudh took 2 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Sriram took 1 minute 17 seconds. Toastmaster Indumadi took 45 seconds. Guest Prabhat took 1 minute. Guest Arjun took 59 seconds. Toastmaster Tarun took 1 minute 9 seconds. Toastmaster Amal took 1 minute 16 seconds. Guest Sudhar Kodi took 1 minute 7 seconds. Toastmaster Madhusudanan took 1 minute 44 seconds. Guest Karthik took 1 minute 9 seconds. And finally, for the evaluation session, Toastmaster Karthik Sivakumar took 3 minutes 21 seconds. Toastmaster Subha took 3 minutes 12 seconds. Over to the general evaluation.
Thank you, Timer Jacob, for your elaborate report. Now, I will call upon our counter, Toastmaster Madhusudan, to give the report. Toastmaster Madhusudan. Toastmaster Madhusudan, are you there?
Yeah, he's coming in offline. You're not audible, Toastmaster Madhusudan.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. Yeah.
I would like to start with the quote. Life is full of problems and overcoming them makes life meaningful. Toastmaster Shayshadrissar. Toastmaster Shayshadrissar used the 6 times and 5 times, 8 times, this 1 time, 2 1 time, and use the discourse markers down the line 1 time. And Toastmaster Srinivasan used the 6 times and 9 times, 17 times, actually 2 times, which 2 times, 2 5 times, these 2 times, it 2 times, so 5 times, right 7 times, that 4 times. And distinguished Toastmaster Shayshadri used the 12 times and 4 times, if 4 times, that 7 times.
Again, you're not audible, Madhusudan.
Madhusudan.
It's not audible. Toastmaster Madhusudan. Are they able to hear us? They are not audible. Maybe someone can call Tarun. The polls are also launched. Madhusudan is not audible. Is it audible for everyone else or only me?
No, it's not audible.
You are audible.
No, Madhusudan is.
No, he is not audible. He is not audible.
Yeah. Someone has to call, and I don't know whether the audio connectivity there or what happened. Actually, we are running short of time, so I think you can make it quickly.
Okay, maybe after this meeting also you can post it in the group also, the report.
That would be ideal.
Yes,
that would be ideal.
If he is audible, maybe he can finish his report. No, he's not audible. I think something wrong here.
I don't know what's happening.
Even grammarian is not in. So
Toastmaster.
maybe Abha Janani, can you unmute yourself? Can Abha Janani hear us? Toastmaster Abha Janani?
Even Toastmaster Taruna is not receiving my call. He is not receiving my call also. I don't know.
Oh dear.
Sir, my phone is streaming.
Yeah. Now, can you finish the report actually, Toastmaster Madhusudan? If you are audible.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next?
Has he finished it? Has he finished his report?
No. I'm going to finish it. It will only take 10 seconds. Just a minute.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, I'll call upon. Thanks, Toastmaster Madhusudan, for your report. Let us move on to the next. May I call upon grammarian Toastmaster Rekha to submit his grammarian report?
Yeah. So this
Toastmaster Rekha?
Yes. Are you?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, she's audible. She's audible.
Yeah, so it was wonderful to be a grammarian today. So thanks for this opportunity. So there were many unique phrases, good languages, but I'll just give the highlights. Now for TMOD, Anirudh, he has used multiple times reinforce and given theme for the day. And some of the unique phrases and good language like commemorate, historical, struggle, distinguished, ardent, stay with yours, etc. Now general evaluator, Anand, he's used reinforcement multiple times. And he has used phrases like right hemisphere of the brain, versatile, fun-filled, positive reinforcement, constructive feedbacks. Now, speaker Sriram, things like, he's used phrases like young minds, project scope, certain corporate words, risk, project management, etc. Srinivasan, yes, he's used words like kudos to saviors, sacrificed a lot, right medicine in place, interesting factors, saving humanity, etc. So I'm just giving the highlights. TMOD, Anirudh, for table topics, he has used words like superhero, applaud. Table topic speaker Sriram, mind, body, soul to connect, simple principle. Guest Prabhat, things like soul, relaxing, peaceful city. Guest Arjun, early bird, get to home. These are some of the words. Tarun, invent new stuff. My look is a brand look, innovative. Amal, reading others' mind. Yeah, next, Madhusudan, all the problems start with poverty. Now, guest Karthik, motivation, daily success is endless. Evaluator Karthik is used words like building the team, successfully achieved purpose of speech, etc. Shubha, evaluator, life is worth living, life is full of uncertainties, a few good languages like facial expressions, logical flow, etc. Yeah, I'm also covering speaker 3, that is DTM Shayshadri. He's used many phrases like evaluate to motivate, tell and sell approach, tons of things, promote the self-esteem, registers in people's mind, sandwich technique, reach to top, go to the bottom, objective is solved, one-way communication, seasoned speaker, etc. Thank you so much. All the speakers have done a very good job. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, grammarian, for your elaborate report. Thank you very much. Now, I'm hereby submitting my general evaluation report. Right. So, First of all, I would like to congratulate each and everyone for your skyrocketing performance in this Toastmasters meeting. Right, we have started the meeting positively, right, by Surgeon at Arms, followed by the presiding officer, Toastmaster Karthik Shivakumar, right, who who volunteers himself for taking the role as a presiding officer and pitching to the program. Really, I appreciate him, right? And we have started the session of this prepared speech, then followed by the educational session. The educational session went on very well. It was a highly insightful session on how to give the constructive feedback about. He has elaborated about the body language, right? How the tonality part, right? We should not point about the behavior. We have to point about the only on the things. That was a fabulous. Lot of learning from the Toastmaster, right? DTM Shayshadri. Coming to the area for improvement. If you see the area for improvement, each and every meeting we have some of the suggestion to get improved, right? So this time the area for improvement is that we have started the program at 10:20. A lot of technical glitches, lack of synchronization between the online and offline. So that was a major challenge was observed, right? And a lot of echo was happening at offline level. What my suggestion is that we need to do the before. We should be more proactive. At least 15 minutes before the training program, we need to check the audio visual check between the offline and online, so that we can start the session more in a positive note without any hindrance. And second thing is that. I request the timer. You can pin yourself, or you can request your Zoom master to pin, so that if any one of them put their slides or PPT, you can also pin, means you can show your slides. That is my suggestion, instead of only putting in the chat box. And one more thing is that during the table topic, because of the positioning of the camera, the participant is unable to show their complete body posture. Now, in any presentation, the most important thing is that the body language. So that was missing. We should not never show our back to our audience. Because of the positioning of the camera, that need to be changed. Because of the time constraint, I'm moving on. But I appreciate each and every role players. We have synchronized and make the program wonderful. And if you see that today's strength, in it is 21. All right, 21. It's a good strength. Really, we have to appreciate each and every one. Okay, so I'm over to you, table topic, Toastmaster of the day. Please take over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand. Actually, this was indeed a very challenging meeting with a lot of unexpected changes in the presiding officer, and then in the technical glitches, and then we have also overshooted the time by a long way. So it was indeed a very challenging meeting. So hopefully we can correct ourselves, and maybe we can check our availabilities a little earlier to avoid these unexpected last minute changes. So that new habit, maybe we can reinforce from next meeting, and hopefully we can keep reinforcing new habits, and we can keep standing up and speak for ourselves at every stage of our life, so that we can develop and improve ourselves, and that will lead us to success. So with this, thank you for the opportunity today, and over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Karthik Shivakumar. Before that, are there any disqualifications in the evaluation session, timer?
No, all are called.
Both evaluators are qualified.
Yeah,
right?
both are called.
Yes. Okay, sir. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthik Shivakumar.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anirudh. Now, I would like to call upon the guest to have their feedback. I guess all the guests are from the offline. So the offline people, can you just ask those
Yes, sir.
guests to join us?
Whatever you feel, how
What do you feel? Just say one. Please.
Yeah, come. Yeah.
Good time with all the people, inspiring words of the people.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope to see you as a member in our club. Can we have the guest, Karthik?
Yes, sir.
Hello. It's a nice session. This is the first because before COVID also I tried to join this session to improve my skill set but today is a very good interaction session and really so I will continue these sessions without break and I will participate this weekly on this one.
Thank you, sir. And can we have another guest, Prabhat? Or it's like another one, guest Arjun?
Yes. Yeah, so it was really a superb experience. Today was my second day, so I enjoyed it a lot. So next time, hopefully, you can see me as a Toastmaster to this. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, is there any other guest who has not spoken?
Hi, it is very delightful to join here. It's my first day experience of here, and it's very suspicious, and people here very knowledgeable. And I would like to come regularly, yes, every weekly, after every weekly for join here. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's like the guests who are interested to be a part of our club can get in touch with our VP education, so VP membership, so that you can get enrolled in our club. And now it's time for us to have the awards and recognition. Toastmaster Tarun, do we have collated the result, poll result?
Yes, sir, we have, sir.
Yes, could you please project it, or you can just read out if you have it?
Yes, sir, I'll read it out to you, sir.
Yes, please.
So, the best prepared speaker goes to Toastmaster Sriram. The best TT again goes to Toastmaster Sriram. The best guest TT goes to Toastmaster guest Arjun. Then the best evaluation goes to Toastmaster Subha. The best role player goes to Anand. The best role player goes to Toastmaster Anand, general evaluator. And the best tag role player goes to Toastmaster Rekha ma'am as grammarian. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Tarun, and it was a very wonderful meeting. And we had few glitches there, here and there, but hopefully we will rectify it in the upcoming meetings. And congratulations to all the winners and the speakers, and evaluators, and the guests. So we will hope we will meet you all again at the same time next week. So on behalf of the presiding officer, I hereby adjourn this meeting. Thank you all.
Sir, photo, sir, group photo.
Group photo. Yes. Yes. Can we all assemble, please, to have a
Yes,
photo?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So offline members, please, camera is not wide enough. Maybe wide angle, Tarun, wide angle camera irundana maathikonga. Okay, fine. So everyone say, so the people at the back behind are not visible. So some people can come in front. Yeah. Okay. So all says.
One thing.
Yeah. I'm going to click it.
One second.
One second.
Yes, yes.
Need that. You won't be visible.
Another one more, I'm going to take it. Cheese. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.